When we discuss talent development models, it is important to first understand what talent is. Howard Tao 1998 proposed a definition where talent A originates in genetically transmitted structures and is therefore at least partly innate, B involves some level of indications of future potential, C shows up in advanced indications that could be used to provide a basis for identifying who is most likely to succeed, D is only found in a minority of people, and E is relatively domain specific. However, he then went on to say how definitions of talent can be so vague there may be no point in even using the word. Ericsson 2006 explored how extensive experience is a requirement for expert performance, suggesting how the only factor influencing performance is the amount of effort put in, rather than talent itself. With these different views upon talent being inherited or moulded by the environment, it creates a nature versus nurture debate. Looking back to video 1, where we discuss the biological factors and physiological differences athletes may have. This may be the nature side of the argument, with the physical advantages being passed on through generations, yet the social and environmental factors discussed in video 2 on this channel is relevant to the nurture side of the argument. Jeff Colvin 2008 supports this idea, showing how some sports rely on the talent inherited, such as boxing, judo, and gymnastics. Yet, precision sports such as archery or target shooting rely on the nurture, due to the hours of practice it would take to become better. A great example to show this is Luke Littler, a professional darts player competing in a precision sport who is one of the best players to have ever played the sport despite only being 18, but has been playing darts since he was 2 years old, showing that he has surpassed a decade of practice required to become an expert, referring to Ericsson 1996. So, to conclude on what talent is, there isn't a set definition, and there is a variation of factors that can impact the talent development of an athlete. Talent development models are designed to enhance talent and progress the potential an athlete may have into consistent elite performance. According to Coutinho et al. 2016, talent development targets the amount of deliberate practice supporting distinguishing performers at different skill levels, deliberate play supporting gratification and maximize enjoyment, and both early specialization and diversification, which I've previously done a video on this channel. Now to look at some talent development models, starting with the long-term athlete development model, a framework that guides athlete development through various stages, focusing on optimal training and competition, while also promoting physical literacy and lifelong participation in sports. The progression through the model in correlation to age, effectively allowing for talent of all levels to be developed, allowing for sufficient development of the most talented into professional pathways, but not neglecting the less gifted athletes, ensuring motivation for continued participation in physical activity. There is also the work by Ericsson 1996, further developed in 2014. He provided a theory of 10 years or 10,000 hours is required in order for talent to be enhanced to an expert level, supporting the ideology that the more practice you conduct, the better you will become, or in other words, you get out what you put in. Ericsson supporting specialisation rather than adopting some of Cote's work on diversification. Whilst on the topic of diversification, the athletic skills model is another talent development model, a model we have already explored in the talent transfer video, with the model having great focus on diversification. To explore some more work by Cote himself and others in 2003, they created a model around sampling, specialising, and investment, comparing views on outcomes from recreational participants or elite performing athletes, identifying that the sampling years, meaning the broad participation in sport with little deliberate practice, is relevant and beneficial for both subgroups. In this talent development model, the specialising years only become relevant to the elite athletes focusing on deliberate play and practice with intention of improving the athlete in the specific sport's performance. By following this model, it allows for athletes with great potential to be filtered into the specific pathways for their development to the top level, whilst the less talented athletes would remain in the sampling years with intended focus on the enjoyment of participation. To further enhance our understanding around the importance of participation context, we can view the work of Collins et al. 2011, who discuss in great depth around the three contexts athletes participate in sport. Participation for personal well-being being the relevant context to the recreational athletes, and elite recognised excellence being the relevant context to the elite performers. The following stage of investment would again only apply to the top performing athletes. This stage really emphasising the importance of improvement within that sport, the final stage before the athletes become top senior professionals.